Okay, good afternoon, all. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Directors for Marion Bennett Phase 2 LLC, an affiliate of the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, on this day, Thursday, December 5th, 2025. Madam Clerk, take the roll, please.
President Louis Jordan,
Here.
Secretary Tick Segerblum, Treasurer Fred Herron, Director Larry Blackman, Director Marissa Brown,
Present.
Director Nancy Bruni,
Present.
Director Richard Churchio, Director Kerry Cox, Director Michael Disman, Director William McCurdy, Director Luciana Turner.
Present.
Thank you.
A quorum is present. This meeting has been properly noticed, and we are in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? A motion has been made. Is there a second? Any conversation? All in favor? Any opposed? The agenda is approved. Is there any public comment regarding this meeting? Seeing none, the first item of business is the approval of the Marion Bennett Phase 2 LLC Resolution Number MBP11-2 to be presented by Frank Stafford.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Frank Stafford, Development Modernization Director. Background is item Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, through its nonprofit arm, Affordable Housing Programs, Inc., is preparing to close the financing for the development of Phase 2 at Marion Bennett Plaza Apartments. Staff is requesting the Board to approve Marion Bennett LLC Resolution Number MBP 2-2, which authorizes the President and/or designee to execute the Articles of Amendment and Operating Agreement and any other documents to take any other action deemed necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, development, and operation of Marion Bennett Phase 2 apartment. Action requested, President requests the Board to approve Resolution Number MBP 2-2 and authorize the President and/or his designee to execute the Articles of Amendment and Operating Agreement and any other documents necessary to obtain financing needed to close the deal for the development of Marion Bennett Phase 2 apartments.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
There's been a motion. Is there a second? Second. Any conversation? All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Is there any citizen participation on this item? Seeing none, meeting's adjourned. I'd now like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Directors of Janusburg Bay LLC, an affiliate of the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, on this day, Thursday, December 5th. Madam Clerk, please take the roll call.
President Louis Jordan,
Here.
Secretary Tick Segerblum, Treasurer Fred Herron, Director Larry Blackman, Director Marissa Brown,
Present.
Director Nancy Bruni,
Present.
Director Richard Churchio, Director Kerry Cox, Director Michael Disman, Director William McCurdy, Director Luciana Turner.
Can we, Commissioner or Director Turner, are you there?
Present.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
We can, thank you.
Hello?
We can hear you, thank you. Okay, we have a roll call.
Oh, a quorum is present. This meeting has been properly noticed, and we are in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Is it properly second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda approved. Is there any public comment on this item? Hearing no public comment for this meeting, the next first item of business is the approval of Janusburg Bay LLC. Will be presented by Frank Stafford.
Frank Stafford, Development Modernization Director. Background, Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority is preparing to close financing for the redevelopment of Janice Brooks Bay Apartments. Staff is requesting the board approve Janice Brooks Bay LLC Resolution JBB-2, which authorizes the president and or his designee to execute the articles of amendment and operating agreement and any other documents to take any other action deemed necessary or desirable to obtain and close the financing, facilitate redevelopment and operation of Janice Brooks Bay Apartments. Action requested, the president requests the board to approve resolution number JBB-2 and authorize the president and his designee to execute the articles of amendment and the operating agreement and any other documents necessary to obtain financing and move forward with the redevelopment operation of Janice Brooks Bay Apartments.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second? Second. Are there any questions on the motion? All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Is there any citizen participation on this item? Thank you. So there's a motion to approve. Is there any citizen participation on this item? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned. I'd like to now call to order the meeting of the Board of Directors of Janice Brooks Bay Managers LLC, an affiliate of the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, on this date, Thursday, December 5th. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
President Louis Jordan,
Present.
Secretary Tick Sigerblum, Treasurer Fred Herron,
Present.
Director Larry Blackman, Director Marissa Brown,
Present.
Director Nancy Bruni,
Present.
Director Richard Churchio, Director Carrie Cox, Director Michael Disman, Director William McCurdy, and Director Luciana Turner.
Present.
A quorum is present. This meeting has been properly noticed, and we are in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law.
Thank you. Is there a motion for the approval of the agenda?
Move approval.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is approved. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, the first item of business is the approval of the Janice Brooks Bay Managers LLC Resolution JBBM-2.
Frank Stafford, Development Modernization Director. Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority is preparing to close finance for the redevelopment of Janice Brooks Bay Apartments. Staff is requesting the board to approve Janice Brooks Bay Manager LLC and resolution number JBBM-2, which authorizes the president and his designee to execute the articles of amendment and operating agreement and any other documents deemed necessary to attain desirable to attain and close financing and facilitate the redevelopment of operation of the Janice Brooks Bay Apartment. Action requested, the president requests the board to approve resolution number JBBM-2 and authorize the president and or designee to execute the articles of amendment and operating agreement and any other documents necessary to obtain financing necessary needed for the redevelopment operation of Janice Brooks Bay Apartments.
Is there a motion to approve Janice Brooks Bay Manager LLC Resolution Number JBBM-2?
Move approval.
Is there a second?
That's still me. So, is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right. That was all in favor? Aye, okay. No, any opposed? Motion carries. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. Okay, I'd like to now call to order the meeting of the Board of Directors of Yale Development Managers LLC. Madam Clerk, please take the roll. Huh? Yeah. Teresa, take the roll.
President Louis Jordan,
Present.
Secretary Tick Sigerblum, Treasurer Fred Herron, Director Larry Blackman, Director Marissa Brown, Director Nancy Bruni,
Present.
Director Richard Churchio, Director Carrie Cox, Director Michael Disman, Director William McCurdy,
Present.
Director Luciana Turner.
Okay. Do we have a quorum?
Present.
A quorum is present. This meeting has been properly noticed, and we are in compliance with the Nevada open meeting law.
Perfect. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Agenda is approved. Is there a public comment on this meeting? Seeing none, the first item of business will be the approval of Yale Development Resolution YDM-1. Frank Stafford.
Frank Stafford, Development Modernization Director. Background, Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, through its nonprofit arm, Affordable Housing Programs, Inc., is preparing to close the financing for the development of the 192-unit senior preference development on the vacant land located at 1632 Yale Street, formerly Old Rose Gardens. Staff is requesting the board to approve Yale Development Manager LLC Resolution Number YDM-1, which authorizes the president and/or designee to execute any and all documents and take any other action deemed necessary to desirable to facilitate the financing, development, and operation of the Senator Joseph M. Neal Jr. Apartments. Action requested is the president requests the board to approve resolution number YDM-1 and authorize the president and/or designee to execute any and all documents necessary to obtain the financing needed and close the deal for the development of Senator Joseph M. Neal Jr. Apartments.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second? Are there any questions? Taking the vote, all in favor? Are there any opposition?
Aye.
Hearing none, the motion carries. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. I'd like to now call to order the meeting of the Board of Directors of the Affordable Housing Program, INC-AHP. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
President Louis Jordan,
Here.
Secretary Tick Segerblum, Treasurer Fred Herron,
Present.
Director Larry Blackman, Director Marissa Brown,
Present.
Director Nancy Bruni,
Present.
Director Richard Churchio, Director Carrie Cox, Director Michael Disman, Director William McCurdy, Director Luciana Turner.
Present.
A quorum is present. This meeting has been properly noticed, and we are in compliance with the Nevada open meeting law.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions? We'll take the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion carries. Is there any public comment? Seeing and hearing none, we're going to move on to the next item, which is the approval of AHP Resolution AHP 36, to be presented by Frank Stafford.
Frank Stafford, Director of Development Modernization. Background, staff is requesting board approval of AHP Resolution Number AHP 36, authorizing president and/or designee to execute any and all documents to take any other action deemed necessary or desirable to secure the financing for the development and operation of Senator Joseph M. Neal Jr. Apartments. Action requested, the president requests the board to approve resolution number AHP-36, authorizing president and/or designee to execute any and all documents necessary to obtain the financing needed for the development of Senator Joseph M. Neal Jr. Apartments.
Is there a motion for the approval of AHP 36?
Motion to approve.
Second? It's been motioned and properly seconded. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. The next order of business is the approval of AHP Resolution 37, which will be presented by Frank Stafford.
Staff is requesting board approval of AHP Resolution Number AHP-37, authorizing president and/or designee to execute any and all documents and take any other action deemed necessary or desirable to secure the financing of the development of an 80-unit family development on the vacant lot at the corner of Duncan and Edwards. Action requested, the president requests the board to approve resolution AHP-37, authorizing the president and/or designee to execute any and all documents necessary to attain the financing needed for the Duncan and Edwards development.
Is there a motion on this item?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. Okay, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. The next item of business will be the approval of AHP number 38. Frank Stafford.
Staff is requesting board approval of AHP Resolution Number AHP-38, authorizing President and/or designee to execute any and all documents and take any other action deemed necessary or desirable to secure finance for the development of a 121-unit family development on the vacant land located at the corner of 28th and Sunrise. Action requested, the President requests the board to approve Resolution Number AHP-38, authorizing President and/or designee to execute any and all documents necessary to obtain the financing needed for the 28th and Sunrise development.
Is there a motion on this item?
Motion to,
The motion, is there a second? Second. It's been properly motioned and second. Any questions? We'll take the vote. All in favor? Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Is there any public comment on this item? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order of the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, today, December 5th. The time is 12:19. Madam Clerk, can we start with the roll call, please?
Sorry. Chairperson Tick Sigerblom. Vice Chairperson Nancy Bruni.
Present?
Commissioner Larry Blackman. Commissioner Marissa Brown.
Present.
Commissioner Nancy Bruni.
Present?
Commissioner Richard Churchio. Commissioner Carrie Cox. Commissioner Michael Disman. Here. Commissioner William McCurdy. Commissioner Luciana Turner.
Present.
A quorum is present. This meeting has been properly noticed, and we are in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law.
Great. And if we could all stand now for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're now going to move on to public comment. And just a reminder, if you want to come up, please state your name clearly and identify the item number for public comment. On this first public comment period, you must limit your remarks to items that are on the agenda. Anyone is welcome to come forward. Hearing and seeing none, we will close public comment. And please remember, there is a second public comment period at the end of the meeting where you can discuss any item. Now we're moving on to the item number 3, approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes of November 21st, 2024?
Move for approval.
Do I have a second? Second. Any comments or discussion? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is properly, motion carries. Okay. We're now moving on to item number 4, the approval of the agenda with the inclusion of any emergency items and deletions of any items. Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Do I have a second? Second. Item has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We'll now move to item number 5, and we'll receive a report from our Executive Director, Louis Jordan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today I have just a couple things I wanted to bring to the board and the community's attention. And if I had to couch my comments, it would be in the phrase of what makes the team work. Have a few acknowledgments we want to make. I'd like to have Enrique de la Paz, as we call him, Kike, please stand up. Kike, he works for HUD. And when we talk about partnerships, one of the things that when I came on board, a clear opportunity for us as an agency was to really improve relationships in general, but particularly with HUD. So TK has been with HUD, our local office here, since 2020. Prior to working with HUD, Kike worked for almost 2 years for U.S. Senator Dean Heller as the Southern Nevada Regional Director. Kike retired from the U.S. Army in 2015 after a distinguished 31-year career where he commanded armored cavalry and infantry units. He's a graduate of Command Staff and General Staff Service School and the U.S. Army War College. Kike attended UNLV. He has a master's degree in international service and from the American University, and is a graduate level diploma on defense and security from the Inter-America Defense College. Kike has spent over 20 years volunteering as a competitive soccer coach. He's married to Diane Beatty, and they are the proud parents of 6 children, 18 grandchildren, ages 1 through 19. He immigrated from Mexico to Las Vegas, Nevada as a teenager and credits this country, family, friends, and his faith for his success and accomplishments. You know, it was very important that we did this today. You know, working with Kike and Adrian Babbitt, who's also in the audience at our local HUD office. Just a number of reasons. You know, when we have issue, we can call them. They tend to be a sounding board often in the community, as the community will call them, and they give us a heads up on ways in which we can improve and just provide extraordinary customer service. And with him leaving public service, we thought it was very appropriate that we take a moment in this meeting and say thank you for all of your service. Thank you for being a valued partner, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Thank you. Thank you.
We have a little something for you.
Oh. Thank you so very much.
There you go. This says, in appreciation, this certificate is proudly presented to Kike de la Paz. Thank you for your service to the Southern Nevada region residents and community. We wish you the best in your retirement. And we can turn around and get a, in fact, why don't we come over here? You guys want to?
Looks good. That's perfect. That's such a good spot. Awesome. Okay. 1, 2, then might as well just get a vertical. Beautiful.
One more for Mike. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. Fabulous, thank you.
Okay. Let's see if- Would you like to say something? Would you like to say something?
Yes. I really wasn't planning on saying anything, but Commissioners, Mr. Jordan, I just want to tell you, when I left the military about 9 years ago, it took me a little bit of time to find myself as to what I wanted to do, and I felt a vacuum filled because the excitement, 20 years of war, our country was on while I was there, or 15 years for me. And I didn't know what to do. I was lucky enough that I was able to take care of my mother for 4 years before she passed. And then after that, I really found no purpose other than just to grow old and have money and with my family, go and travel and just things that can be important and fun, but they're not deep. And then I found this job with housing and urban development. And I almost didn't take it because I was looking for a much higher paying job in Abu Dhabi. And my wife reminded me that after 31 years, it was time for me to be home. Little did I know how humbling it is to serve those who don't have anything. I work in my office with a great group of people who do this job because they care about the people they serve and those who have nothing. I took notice. I was very impressed when Mr. Jordan was hired. I have been reading the papers. I just wasn't very, as an individual, very impressed with how things were running, and I always thought that there could be a better way to do things. And I felt that Nevada and Las Vegas, the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority in particular, won the lottery. For I seen the change. And that change, in these meetings, that time goes by so fast, you don't realize that all the things that are happening and the hundreds of people that are involved. And the women, the ladies here in the back, and I won't start mentioning names because I'll miss somebody. And then, then I would not like to do that. I love working with them. I didn't think there would be nothing more important than defending my country, and I thought it is, and I always like that. But it's just as important to defend those who can defend themselves here. And for those of you who have never had an opportunity to do a pit count, I strongly recommend you do it one day. And they may not have one in Southern Nevada this year, but they will do it next year. Because it'll humble you, and it will remind you about where you came from, and it will remind you why are you here, and it will give you the ability to think where are you going, and what can you do to make a change. It doesn't matter how much money you make, what is your position. What it matters is that you give the best you have. And I'm so grateful for every one of you, directors, commissioners, and I'm so grateful for Mr. Jordan and the people that work for him, especially the ladies that would always bugging with emails and phone calls. But I tell you this, I promise you that in my heart of hearts, I believe you're doing God's work, and may the Lord bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kike. Keeping with that same theme of what makes the team work, as a country and as a world, the greater levels of technology we see, the greater threat it is to us as an organization, particularly on the financial side. And this next person I want to recognize for just having good wherewithal. And I want to just say that this is going to be, we're going to start looking to do this more regular at our board meetings. But just over the last couple weeks, I've gotten personal emails where people one was a housing authority, where someone either called in or wrote in and said, "Hi, my name is George. We've changed our account number. Please send our future payments to this new account number." We had a local agency, I think not far, where something similar happened, and over $1 million went out of the agency. Just on a phone call or on an email, someone hit a button and said, "Oh yeah, I think I remember George. Here's $1 million." Well, while I credit our IT department, we have these things called phishing expeditions where they're constantly testing us to make sure that we're, being vigilant. Recently, Virginia Torres in our finance department received such communication, and being vigilant, she had enough wherewithal to say, "Wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. No, I'm not going to respond to the email or whatever the communication was, but who knows what we saved." But I know one thing, Virginia's an example of that high level of customer service, that wherewithal that says we have processes and policies in place, and getting a random email from someone saying, "Here's a change," is something we don't do. So, Virginia, we want to recognize you. And the certificate reads, Virginia, for your diligence and attention to detail, protected the agency from a potential financial loss. Your actions exemplify the proactive approach our agency strives for in maintaining our security. Your efforts and dedication made a great impact on keeping our agency safe. Thank you, and keep up the excellent work.
Thank you.
Very good. You want to come over and take a picture? And as you can see, the whole finance team, so you guys come on. Everybody's fine. Come on up and take a picture.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. 1, 2. Beautiful.
Couple more items I just wanted to make mention. In January, last couple months, in a collaboration and partnership with our HUD field office, we received some technical assistance from HUD in looking at our procurement process. HUD, on HUD's dime, they brought in a firm that worked with our team. And I'll tell you, we'll get the final report next month, but I can give you the preliminary report. We did darn well. Yeah, we did a really good job. Hats off to, Johnny Shaw and his team and the rest. Procurement has policies, but everyone has to follow them. So we had a very nice closeout meeting the other day. The final report will come with some recommended changes to the procurement process, or policy, which the board will have to approve. But just giving you a little precursor, we did well. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to attend the swearing in of Councilman Churchill, our Commissioner Churchill, and that was quite delightful. And wanted to say it's a little premature, but in 2027, NHRA, National Housing and Redevelopment Officers, is going to have their national conference right here in Las Vegas. And so that's been made official. Happy holidays, and that concludes my report. Are there any questions at all?
Any questions for Director Jordan?
Thank you.
I have one question. Could you share what the scope of the procurement analysis was targeting?
Sure.
What were they looking at?
HUD wanted to come in and just look at the day-to-day activity around how we procure from the top to bottom, the communications piece, what we put on the street, how long we have it on the street. And really it was a collaboration between me and the field office that actually we had been working on for almost 2 years. It was a part of me being a new executive director, wanting to know what we, making sure that things were in order. It was also some of the, we talked about some of those old days where HUD had constant questions around our policies and practices. And again, it was decided that a non-biased third party would come in. There were a number of interviews with both the procurement department as well as staff who does procurement activity, which resulted in the policy changes were just some best practice recommendations. But the overall process, the closeout, which included our team, the company that did the TA, and HUD, was a very positive closeout. I just want to hats off to the team for that.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the next item, number 6, acknowledgement of our departed. Mr. Jordan?
Very good. Thank you, Madam Chair. Since our last gathering, we lost Johnny Giordano, and if we could just have a moment of silence for Mr. Giordano. Thank you.
Great. Moving on to item number 7, approval of request to extend the executive director current contract.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Angela White, Human Resources Director. So we are requesting the continuation of Mr. Jordan's current contract while we make good faith efforts to negotiate a new contract.
Move approval.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Was that a, Commissioner Turner, was that an aye? You were an aye vote for approval?
Aye, yes.
Perfect, thank you. There's just a delay. Any abstentions? Great, motion carries, thank you. Moving on to item number 8, the approval of resolution number SNRHA-134 to enter into agreements and execute all documents necessary to obtain financing for the development of Senator Joseph M. Neal Jr. Apartments. Mr. Stafford.
Good afternoon. Frank Stafford, Director of Development Modernization. Background, the Executive Director is requesting the Board to approve Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority Resolution Number SNRHA-134, which authorizes the Executive Director and his designee to execute any and all documents and take any other actions necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, closing, development, and operation of Senator Joseph M. Neal Jr. Apartments. This new development will be built on the site of the demolished Old Rose Gardens Apartments. The new 192-unit senior preference development will be a mix of 60 public housing units, which will be converted to RAD after closing, 60 non-RAD project-based voucher units, and 72 unassisted units. The development will be funded by a combination of Nevada Housing Division, Growing Affordable Housing Program funds, Home Means Nevada Initiative funds, Clark County Community Housing funds, Clark County Home funds, City of Las Vegas Home funds, and SNRHA capital funds and other sources. The Executive Director requests the Board to approve Resolution Number SNRHA 134, authorizing the Executive Director and/or his designee to execute any and all documents necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, closing, development, and operation of Senator Joseph M. Neal Jr. Apartments.
Thank you. Motion to approve resolution number SNRHA-134. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 9, approval of resolution SNRHA-135 to enter into agreements and execute all documents necessary to obtain financing for the development of Duncan and Edwards Apartments. Mr. Stafford.
Background, the Executive Director is requesting the Board approve Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority Resolution Number SNRHA-135, which authorizes the Executive Director and/or his designee to execute any and all documents and take any other actions as deemed necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, closing, development, and operation of the 80-unit family development to be built on the vacant land located at the corner of Duncan and Edwards. The new development will be built using 4% low-income housing tax credits, Home Means Nevada Initiative funds, and SNRHA seller's note, and it will consist of 30 public housing units, which will be converted to RAD after closing, 30 non-RAD project-based voucher units, and 20 unassisted units. Action requested, Executive Director requests the Board to approve Resolution Number SNRHA-135, authorizing the Executive Director and/or his designee to execute any and all documents necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, closing, development, and operation of the Duncan and Edwards development.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve resolution number SNRHA-135, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 10, approval of resolution number SNRHA-136. Mr. Stafford.
Background, Executive Director is requesting the Board to approve Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority Resolution Number SNRHA-136, which authorizes Executive Director and/or his designee to execute any and all documents and take any other actions deemed necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, closing, development, and operation of the 121-unit family development to be built on the vacant land located at the corner of 28th and Sunrise. The new development will be built using 4% low-income housing tax credits, Home Means to Buy Initiative Funds, and SNRHA Seller's Note, and it will consist of 30 public housing units which will be converted to RAD after closing, 30 non-RAD project-based voucher units, and 61 unassisted units. Action request, Executive Director requests the Board to approve Resolution Number SNRHA 136, authorizes Executive Director and/or his designee to execute any and all documents necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, closing, development, and operation of the 28th and Sunrise development.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve resolution number SNRHA-136, please? Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stafford. Now we'll move on to, I just have to say I'm excited with all the new developments coming online. It's great. Moving on to new business items. Do the commissioners have any new business items they would like to bring forward for our next meeting?
Through the chair, one of the things that I learned since I've been here as a commissioner, visiting and being able to go to SNRHA in Florida, is that agencies within our government work together. And they create situations where housing is just not housing. And one of the things that I shared a little bit of this with staff yesterday when we did our briefing, or whenever we did our most recent briefing, is that I had some concerns about some appreciation for the fact that we received over $50 million in awards for things to do in the future. One of the things, though, that I think we're missing is how do we pay that forward in terms of how we help those that want to get out of public housing. And specifically what I'm speaking of is in terms of an education piece, a training piece. And I'm very familiar with Section 3, and I think that does a wonderful job. It's just not enough. And I was going to ask the executive director, and I know the team has a lot to do, but as I talk to people across the country, they are marrying programs which help those kids, young folks, primarily minority children in those areas that don't have an opportunity to go to school and or get a trade. They help them in terms of ferreting out those interests so that they can get qualified to have real-time jobs. And I mean something above, a living wage job. And what I was hoping that we could do is that we could ferret out anything, any programs from any place within the government, within our own situation, where we can then help those kids get to another level. I know Commissioner Turner is a big component of this, and of helping those kids get to another level so they can see that they can have success on another level, not just living in public housing for the next 40 years. I think it's incumbent upon us as a board that we do that because that's a responsibility of why we're here. I've only been here 7 months, but now you got a noisy wheel because I'm looking at ways and ideas that we can bring forth, that we can put forth effort to then help ourselves, to help them, to help themselves to get out of these situations and be shining examples of utilizing public housing as a tool, but not a landing place forever. And so I would ask the director and allow him to speak on this in terms of procurement that because as I look at the over $50 million we received and the percentage of money that's going into those areas in terms of helping people get out of poverty and out of a situation where it's paycheck to paycheck, it's minuscule. And we need to focus on how we can get these people to another level of understanding of responsibility. I mean, we have a ton of programs what you do, whether it's the housing situation where we're taking people, helping them get credit worthy to buy homes. All of that's great. But I think we need to look a little deeper, and we need to find something where we can help these kids, especially the ones that are coming up, where we may have an opportunity to then stress to them how they can become successful at no matter what they do, because we provided a tool for them, not necessarily college, but maybe a trade, whether it's, plumbing, carpentry, all of those other things that's available. And then the people that my last point is, the people that we enter into partnership with, those people that are building these places, it seems to me that we're the partners, but we're giving up all the resources and we're not receiving anything back. That's a problem for me. So I'll leave it with that. And so, Mr. Director, I'll direct it to you, to the chair. There's got to be some things that we can do. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
So duly noted, and given the things that we're working on, be it our apprenticeship program, the Section 3, clearly there's more that can be done. This is somewhat of a continuation, Commissioner, from our last board meeting where there were questions about Section 3 and what's available. Since then, I've had an opportunity to talk with HUD in DC to see where we can find some best practices. And those best practices look different in different places, but clearly, when you talk about the millions of dollars that comes through the agency, and I want to be clear, there's some vendors that do a darn good job. Our attorneys won. And what we need to do is be a little more proactive. Every vendor, and I think oftentimes we focus on the construction piece. There's so much more. If you're receiving dollars, there can be an opportunity, be it to hold a flag, do secretarial work, do janitorial work, whatever it is. And I'm happy to say that we are living to the letter of what HUD expects us to do, but is there an opportunity to do more? Absolutely. And so with that being said, we're forming an internal task force to start looking at, again, since we last met, I've picked up procurement processes and policies from at least another housing authority. So in somewhere in very near future board meetings, we will be coming back to make presentations on what we found. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, for that. Any other suggestions or items? Okay, great. Seeing none, we will close that action item, and then we're now moving to our last public comment. We've got one public comment card. And again, just a reminder, please, when you come up, if you come up, state your name clearly, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. We've got one from Lanika Carruthers. Ms. Carruthers? And again, even though I shared your name, if you'll state your name again for the record, please. Thank you.
My name is Lanika Carruthers, and I stay in scattered sites. I just want to address a moment that was upsetting experience I had during our previous board meeting. As I came forward to share my opinions on an important matter, I was interrupted by the vice chairman, Richard, who dismissed my contributions with the remark, "Do you just want the money?" This statement not only interrupted my attempt to express my thoughts, but also reflect a troubling attitude that undermines the very essence of our discussion here. When I approached the microphone, there was moments where my points were dismissed or overshadowed, not just through direct interruptions, but through body language and dismissive remarks. When I was expressing issues, my words were cut short, and that interruptions not only silenced my voice, but it also created an atmosphere where it felt like my presence was not valued. In any professional settings, it is virtual that all voices are heard and respected. Each member deserves the opportunity to express their views without fears or interruptions of ridicule. I sat here for 2.5 hours and I couldn't even get through my 3 minutes of public comment. As stated in the HUD regulations, all windows should have screens. This scenario is not an inconvenience, it's an injustice. It undermines the trust between tenants and landlords and places an undue finance barrier on those who may already be negative, who already be having a hard time be able to survive. And the 42 photos my landlord overlooked before I moved in, he couldn't confirm that all windows screen was installed. I moved in August 2020, and on March 2023, March 23rd, 2021, I placed a work order for missing screens throughout my house. I stated in the work order, but in his decision, he only removed 3 screens. He needs to remove all 3 screens because, he stated in the photos, he was not able to confirm all the window screens was on my house. Plus, I also have my kitchen drawers and the doorknob that I still have at my house that the manager said that he would come and get. The reality that our current housing system often falls short of truly helping those in need, yet for those less fortunate, this journey to secure housing can be frustrating and unfair at times. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment today? All right, seeing none, just a couple of closing comments. First, thank you for your grace. This is my first meeting as a chair, and I know I stumbled a few times, so sorry and thank you. And then again, Kike, thank you so much for your partnership. Thank you it's clear that you serve with so much heart, and so thank you for all that you've given to our community. And don't be a stranger, and we look forward to seeing you when we do the ribbon cutting at Marble Manor in a few years. So, and with that, at 12:55, we are adjourned.